Starting with a simple standing drill, I'm gonna take one step in the opposite direction behind the other leg and then pivot to come back to standing. Notice I'm simply pivoting on the ball of the foot to come back. And also notice I'm traveling in one direction. So as I step behind, it has to be in line with the other foot so that I keep traveling in that single direction. Next progression, I'm gonna take a big step with my leading leg first, shift the weight over, and then take that step behind, pivot, back to standing. Leading leg takes a big step, shift, step behind, pivot. This initial step right here is almost like a Cossack squat before we take that step behind. Watch it from this angle. Take a long step first, step behind, pivot, and notice I'm again traveling in one singular direction, at least for the purpose of this drill. Now to refine this further, I'm actually going to counterbalance quite a bit with my arm so that I can take a long step. And notice that in order to take that long step, I need to shift my weight first to my trailing leg, to my back leg, so that I can get lighter on that leading leg, which helps us take that big step. Then we shift the weight over, step behind, pivot, and come down into a squat this time for a second. Stand back up to reset. Again, shift the weight on the trailing leg so that the leading leg takes a big step. Shift the weight, step behind, and try to stay low as you come into a squat. Again, from the other angle. There is a lot of weight shifting that's happening. So if there's one thing that you need to pay attention to carefully is a weight shift from one foot to the other foot so that you can facilitate the stepping. And now notice my arm, how it counterbalances to the other side, because if I don't have the arm counterbalancing, I might not be able to take as big of a step. Reaching the arms to the other side allows me to lengthen, and take that. See how big of a step that is? Great way to work on hip mobility as we do this. Now making things even spicier, I'm gonna start in a squat and end in a squat. So I'm never standing anymore. This is quite challenging because you're in that low position the whole time, which will challenge your lower body mobility, your hips, your ankles quite a bit. And lastly, we can add that big arm reach so that we can create all of that length to do the whole thing. When you try this on your own, it will be easy to do this in a rushed manner and to skip details. So please take your time to perform this with the highest quality that you can.